Hello, welcome to TravelDine. I'm Peter Bates, and I'm in my New York office today. And I have great pleasure in welcoming a tremendous guest to our program today. I'm pleased to welcome a Hyatt veteran from Europe, Morocco, and Asia, who first arrived in the United Arab Emirates in 2011 as a regional general manager, and who over the past 10 years has risen through being the chief operating officer of Emaar Hospitality, president and CEO of One&Only, to become the COO of Kerzner International, and eventually, 6 months ago, to become the chief executive officer. Philippe Zuber is the chief executive officer of Kerzner International, the owner of the iconic Atlantis Resort and Residences and the ultra-luxury One&Only Resorts brands worldwide, and so much more that we're going to hear about today. Philippe spearheads Kerzner International's strategic expansion plans for the growth of the portfolio and drives the successful operation of the existing collection of award-winning, globally renowned resorts in 11 nations across the globe. His vision is to build a continuous guest innovation to fulfill the company's core vision of creating amazing experiences and everlasting memories for each and every guest. At a company that employs over 10,000 people and 100 nationalities across the globe. So Philip, welcome to TravelDine. Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Peter. Same like, and really happy to see you today.
Thanks very much. I just thought we might start by you sort of outlining your career. I think you went to hotel school in Strasbourg, didn't you? And from there you joined Hyatt?
Yeah, correct. So I started this amazing journey back in the days, and then was starting with Hyatt and had a very exciting journey with Hyatt, which was taking me through various countries. And like you have said, was starting in food and beverage on that time, and then was promoted to Morocco, then had a chance to start a regional role overlooking a few hotels from the European region at that time, so based in Morocco, but looking on hotel in Paris, Spain, and that was a very, very interesting start of the career. And then after those positions, I moved to Berlin, Grand Hyatt Berlin, which was again at that time an icon in the city, and in the year 2000, Berlin was really on fire, and it was really the place to be at that time. It was absolutely amazing years. And I was EM F&B at that time. Then I moved to Paris, where I hold my first GM position in a hotel that you like, in Hyatt Paris, and then being part of all of this great journey. And it was good for me as well to be back in France.
Just for a while.
Yeah, just for a while. Until the time, and then moved to Seoul in South Korea.
Ah, that's right.
Hyatt.
And that's where we first met.
And that's when we first met. I absolutely remember that day. That was on the lobby lounge on the top floor.
That's right.
Where we have this iconic pool that you can oversee from the lobby, and then you see this absolutely beautiful view in Gangnam. Yeah. So that was a fantastic journey. And then I decided after the Park Hyatt Seoul journey to move to Dubai. And then you have explained was starting in Emaar Hospitality with this flagship property, the address downtown, whereby, and I think this is very important point, that I decided at that time to make a move in order to understand the residential model, and to really be more than a hotelier, and to try really to understand what was at that time still the beginning of those mega projects whereby hospitality was mixing with real estate in a much more stronger way. And that was absolutely amazing, because with this opportunity, I had a chance to be part of downtown Dubai, where you know this iconic Burj Khalifa and anything that has been developed around, with the largest Dubai Mall, which is the largest mall in the world, as well been very actively part of the development of Dubai Opera, which was again another icon into this master development. And of course the Address brands, which is a brand which mixing hospitality, but as well lots of entertainment and of course the residential part. I was part of a golf club, polo club, yacht club. And that was a good journey for me because I've been able as well to develop some new brands, which I believe have a legacy in Dubai. So Vida Hotel and Resorts, as well Rove, which was the first time that we were developing from scratch economical brands, so called Rove. And that was a brand which was born in Middle East and really done and developed to being able to adjust to the Middle Eastern need. And that's a brand which is now rocking and doing very, very well. So I was happy to be part of that journey. And of course, in Ima Hospitality as well, we had the chance to have Armani hotels, right, and many, many different assets. So based on the success of that, I then took the opportunity to join One and Only. And I realized that's already 5 years ago. But when this opportunity, Peter, came to look after these iconic brands, I did yes without any single hesitation, because I think this happens once in your career, to have a chance to look after such a kind of iconic brand. So I start my journey with purely focusing on One and Only. And after 5 years now, I'm lucky to look after Atlantis as well. And like you have described, being part of an amazing company, Kerzner International, and really excited about what we have achieved so far, but more excited about the future.
That's fantastic. So the two iconic brands, Atlantis and One and Only, do they share the same company customer base, or are they very different?
No, they're very different, and they're really talking to a different demographic. That being said, and you know it very, very well, and it's very, very important, is that now our customer base are becoming extremely agile. They're easy jumping from one brand to the others. Yeah. But I must say that both brands are very distinct, and they're not talking exactly to the same audience. So we have Atlantis, which is larger than life. It's based on entertainment, and it's a destination resort. And One and Only is ultra luxury, intimate, and it is a celebration on each destinations. What is good about that, and what we're very proud, is that while those brands are very distinctive to each other, it's very convenient for us because all of the back office, we are sharing the same, and we can really do a lot of synergy from an organization standpoint and finding a lot of benefit from a system standpoint, from a sales standpoint, from a finance standpoint, a legal standpoint. All of those functions are shared, that we can focus and have more attentions to what the guests see, and then we can really put a lot of more emphasis into the brands itself.
Do they have their own sales forces though, or is that all shared as well?
They are sharing the sales force. So we have offices around the globe, which are really talking to our global audience that we are looking at. And it's working extremely well that a sales agent can coincidentally promote and talk to their agent, to their audience, to whoever they are in contact with, but they can promote distinctively One and Only and Atlantis.
Fantastic. But you have another brand called Magazin as well, don't you? What's that?
This is a single property that we do have in Morocco. We're very proud about this asset. It's our hotel, which is attached with an amazing casino, which we have just renovated last year. And it's sitting really close to Casablanca. It's a few minutes away from Casablanca and very easy access from Casablanca airport. It's a 500-key hotel sitting along the ocean. It's really, really beautiful in a full green space. The casino is very, very important to the destinations, but lately we have developed lots of food and beverage activities in order to attract a larger audience to the destinations. It is a single hotel that we're not intending to develop as a brand.
Oh, you're not? Okay, so it's a one-off. Okay. But I saw a great quote from you. We've always been pioneers, true disruptors within the hospitality space. we've built destinations through personalities of our brands and understanding our guest journey, creating a meaningful legacy. I thought that was a great quote from you. And I think you're taking that further now, aren't you, with the launch of another brand?
Yeah, and that's quite exciting moment for us as an organization, because while we are still a very young company, launching a third brand is quite exciting. So that has just happened a few weeks back. And I must say, Peter, is that the response for the market is really extraordinary. I mean, we really felt that the timing post-pandemic, it's the world has changed. Yes. The way that hospitality are behaving is different. And then we felt that's the right timing. And by launching this brand, we were willing as well to send a very positive message to the market, saying hospitality is here, hospitality has a future, and we really believe that such kind of brand, which are progressive, purely digital, really focusing on health, have a really, really bright future. So the response has been extremely good. Good. And we're quite excited about this opportunity.
Now, is this a city center brand, an urban brand, or a resort brand?
So that's a brand that we are aiming to develop into city center, because we are targeting an audience which wants to continue the fitness journey while they are traveling. You know, Peter, you traveling the world. I don't know how many times we have met and engaged in so many fair or events across the globe. Yeah. And you know, when you're at home, you have your fitness routine. You are very comfortable for what you do because you know best what is good for your body. You have your coach, you have the gym, you have the neighborhood that supports you into your fitness journey. When you travel, travel is very complicated for your body. So you have to take a lot of efforts to really catch up and being efficient into your business journey while you're traveling. What Cyro will be offering, it will be the perfect hotel and the perfect destination that you can continue to work as a business individual, but that you have a guarantee that you will have the best of the fitness instructor, the best of the fitness facilities. You will have a pool, which we have been clear that that's what the guests are looking at as well, because it's very convenient as well to go for a swim. Yeah. And it is very important as well for your body balance. So anything that you look at when you are traveling will be available on those hotels. Mixing with a strong community work, meaning we will be making sure that we will be attractive as well for the people living in the neighborhood. You will really find into Cyro the best place when you travel, and then in order to continue your fitness journey. So urban is our desired location where we want to be developing, but we are not against looking for some other opportunity and looking from, semi-urbanized destination. Right. Like, for example, we have signed our first one, which is in Oka Place in Montenegro. And that will be our first Cyro. And it's sitting right by the bay in a very interesting location. We couldn't say it's a full resort. It's a semi-urban destination that we are developing. And the city is growing there. So it will be becoming ultimately an urban resort.
Yeah. Is there a typical size of one of these hotels, or doesn't that matter?
We are very flexible because we want to grow this brand and we do not want to have too much restrictions, but our feasibility and the business model show us that anything around 200 keys is a good size that give us a great opportunity to have the best returns.
Fantastic. So marketing to your guests, I mean, the last 13 months have been pretty hard for us all, and with hotels all over the world, it's been even harder for you, I'm sure. Closed borders, restrictions, people not knowing quite how to travel and when to travel. And yet your resorts must have been very popular because you're appealing to an affluent consumer who are craving for open spaces, privacy, good energy, and service. And I know you provide all those. So how do you communicate in a time like this with guests across the world? And are you seeing any patterns develop?
Yes, we do. And first, we're really blessed and very, very lucky that our brands, Atlantis and One and Only, are exactly the brands that now, into the post-pandemic time, that people are looking even furthermore to stay.
Right.
They are looking for places which are providing them those key elements, which is privacy,
Yeah.
guarantee of excellent services, and without any say that all of the health and safety protocol to be applied, which is absolutely what we're doing and what we were doing as well previously the pandemic. So there's not that much adjustment on that element. We are just elevating.
Right.
But it is about entertainment, quality of food and beverage and activities. And Peter, what we can see now and what is a massive trend is that whatever guests are within our resort across the globe, they are really living the life to the full. They want to enjoy. And they want to have access to all of those amenities that we have to offer. And in Atlantis Dubai, in Atlantis Sanya, in all of our One and Only, the opportunity that we're giving for our guests to do so many type of activities is just right there. So, but they really go full on it. They really enjoy their life. It's quite impressive. And for us, it was important to remain with them in contact, even at the worst time of the pandemic.
Right.
And I must say, like, because your question was about how do we keep the communication and how we were engaging, we felt that social media is more important than ever. What we have seen and observed as an industry change and as a pattern in terms of communication, it was that the engagement for our guests on social media has been extraordinarily high. And with One and Only at Home campaign, we found this campaign that has been launched during the pandemic time and during the time that it was a full global lockdown, amazing success. And that's credit to the team. They were very strong by engaging with our guests. And our guests were very, very strong as well by engaging our colleagues. And you know what interesting was about that time is that the amount of questions that we had from our guests about inquiring how our colleagues are feeling, asking the health of our butler, about it was just absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
And the human relationship that all of our guests are creating with our colleagues, what was they were missing the most. So the fact that they were able to still connect with our resort towards beautiful pictures, great story, great engagement, have helped them out to pass to this difficult time, because at the end of the day, it was something new to everyone. And they were looking for company with a positive messaging. And One and Only and Atlantis were pioneer by providing a positive message and positive outcome. And now here we are into a better situation than we were a year ago.
Yeah. And I guess because you have got so many resorts, business is coming back quite rapidly.
It's coming back quite rapidly. Is changing both ways. You know, it could go high very fast, and it could go down very fast as well. So we are managing globally all of our resorts, very carefully. There is not one fit all approach. This crisis shows us that what's happened in Mexico cannot be duplicated in Mauritius.
Right.
So we as a management team needs to be really, really cautious on the way that we are supporting each of the resorts and understanding each market dynamic. It's extremely interesting. But what we are proudly say is that 100% of our resorts across the globe are open, and all of them are welcoming guests.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. So as we come out of this, and you've talked a little bit about this already, what trends are you seeing and feeling are going to happen over the next couple of years? Is life's not going to go back to as it was, is it?
I think it's fascinating, and I think it's a reset for our world, Peter. And we have engaged many times on a different subject, and this is a very dear subject to you as well. I think for hospitality as an industry, it has obliged all of us to integrating digital in a much more faster pace.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big learning. The second big learning is that the guest will continue to travel and will continue to engage with our brands no matter what. The appetite for travel is stronger than the risk and the stress that it's causing. But that being said, they're becoming extremely selective on where they are going. They want to experience maximum of activities, so they want to make sure they're going to resorts which are offering a lot of opportunity to be entertained. And the main thing is the access to the resort should be simple. That's as well something that now guests will be very, very clear on trying to avoid to shifting planes and trying to be as simple in order to go to resort. But what we found out as a major shift is that guests will go with larger inventory, will go for resorts which are guaranteeing a full privacy as well. Mm-hmm. What we see is that our bigger villa go first. You know, the one we're very lucky, we have so many with private pools are really, really the one that go first. It was not always the case in the past, you know, so it's interesting to see those kind of change of behavior. The rest are trends that we were seeing before anyway, you know, the booking pace was happening anyway, already before the pandemic. What is a massive change is that now our guests are intending to stay longer in one property. So we were already with One and Only, one of the longest company in the world with the length of stays. But we see that even further increasing, which is great because then people feel much more engaged with our brands and much more dynamic. And the last trend, Peter, which I think it's a big shift as well. And we were seeing that as well prior the pandemic time, but I think the pandemic have accelerating anything related to branded residences. I really do believe that many clients now make the step to saying it is the time that I'm attaching my private investment to a recognized worldwide brand, which can guarantee that I can come up into my place at any point of time, but I will have the guarantee that the brand will then deliver the experiences which is expected, you know, so wonderful services, wonderful facilities, health and safety protocol, access to many you know, food and beverage, many activities. We see that we have been observing an acceleration on demand on our private homes and in our branded residence as well in Dubai for Atlantis The Royal.
Fantastic. So let's turn to your business philosophy. You've introduced new business philosophies at both Atlantis and One and Only. Experiences larger than life, I think, for Atlantis, and we create joy for One and Only. How did this happen, and how are you implementing the strategy throughout the two organizations?
So that's potentially what I'm the most proud with the team for having been able to deliver that, because at the end of the day, regardless of the situation, the trends, how our industry are progressing, we still remaining a human-centric business, that everything is about human relationship. Our colleagues are the most important asset for our organization, and being able to combine them around a common philosophy was very, very important for us, because it's creating a culture and it's creating a dynamic, and most importantly, it's helping us to grow. And it is us as an organization giving us the strengths that we can duplicate the magic of Atlantis and the magic of One and Only to new destinations. So it was a very, very interesting journey to put that into writing in order to have a common language. And our approach was not to focus on SOPs, but was to focus on behavior. So it's something which is very unique, and that everyone within our organization can contribute, and by leading by example, are creating a journey that the others will follow. And by being really on the top of all of those core principles, we're really creating an organization that works on the strengths of the team, and on the quality of the individual. So we're quite exciting about this. And it has been proven to be extremely successful so far. And thanks to the amazing team, they have embraced the program. They have made so much impact on those two philosophies. So it's working very, very well, beyond our expectation.
Oh, good. And how did you write it? I mean, did you bring a team together from different disciplines? How did that happen?
So it's starting first by taking the knowledge from our own colleagues. So we did that to a few very interesting exercise, and we took a support from an external agency, but we were doing that with all of our general manager, all of our director of human resources, which they were taking the insight as well from their own respective team. So the success of those two employee philosophy were that they were not invented for the corporate. They were taking from the resort and bring up to corporate and being structured in a way that it could be duplicated. But we took the juice and the energy from the resort and being able to putting that into a document. So it was a very, very unique exercise. There was a lot of debate, of course, as you can imagine, very emotional. Yeah. But the magic of a resort, it's very difficult to duplicate, and that's the energy that has been putting into this document.
And the process was about how long? How long did a process like that take?
The process was more than a year.
Wow.
It was more than a year. And in fact, we were being surprised by the time that it's taking.
Yeah.
But because it was a concept which giving us a lot of responsibility, because an employee philosophy is there for many, many years. So we were not willing to rush, and we were willing to spend the time to listen to our colleagues, to listen to our GMs, and that they're really feeling part of the process, endorsing each of the steps. So we took our time, and it was absolutely the right investment. And you see the result. I mean, when you go to any resort, and the test for us was opening of new resorts.
Right.
And Peter, last year we did open during the worst pandemic that hospitality had never faced. We have opened One and Only Desaru Coast in Malaysia, and we have opened One and Only Mandarina in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. And that was absolutely an amazing journey. But the fact that we were able to bring all of our new onboarding colleagues alongside one philosophy like we create joy, it was just simply amazing. So we were really seeing the real result of this exercise with the opening of our two resorts last year.
Perfect. Because you weren't, I guess, able to send big teams in to support those two openings from other destinations because of COVID.
It was very challenging, I tell you. I mean, in Malaysia, thanks our anticipation and our processes, we were being there already many, many times, and then the opening had been postponed. In Mandarina was much more challenging. We have been able to deploy some task force, but not to the level that we were willing to, So I think that as a backup and as a philosophy was very, very helpful on that one.
Fantastic. So your resorts, they stretch from Wolgan Valley in the Blue Mountains of Australia to Rwanda, of course, Sanya in China, the sun-soaked coastline of Puerto Vallarta, as you've just said, Cape Town to the Maldives, now to Montenegro, where I know you're just back from. How do you and your executive team based in Dubai manage such a global network? And how does that affect your own management style?
I mean, it's affecting all of us because we're learning for so many destinations, we're learning for so many cultures, we are in contact with so many jurisdictions. Dubai is the perfect location because with the network and the accessibility, Dubai becoming a central hub for that. So for traveling reason and for accessibility, being located in Dubai, it's a huge opportunity for us, and that we like it. For the rest, it's a passionate team. I mean, few of our colleagues here in Dubai. We have a very, very strong team. They're all really solid hoteliers. They know it very, very well in their respective area of expertise. And they really, the strength of our organization is that we are a purely global organization working on all of those countries around the world and really talking to a global audience. So I think this is our strength, and this is what we're very happy to do that out of Dubai.
That's fantastic. So it's a broad network. How does that allow for cross-fertilization? Not just ideas, but career development for your colleagues as well. Are there lots of opportunities there, or is that pretty restricted?
No, there's plenty of development and plenty of opportunity. First, each of our colleagues really pay a lot of attention that they are really understand the Kerzner DNA, which is a resort mindset and something which they can really deploy across the globe. And the opportunity that we are providing, most of our new resorts, we really do the internal promotions. We are really pushing people from one position to another, and we really believe on this internal growth. We as well, because we are growing in a good pace, welcome people from outside. But this is our ultimate objective, is to making sure we're providing opportunities internally. And we have amazing success. We have amazing story. We have really individuals which have started, in a lower level, and then now being able to really climb the different level in our organization. So, like you were explaining at the beginning, we have more than 10,000 colleagues working around the world. And with all of our upcoming opening and what we have opened so far, we're offering as well a lot of opportunities.
Fantastic. Okay. You talk about opening, so let's just talk about development, because that's a key area for you. You're opening two projects in Dubai alone, aren't you? One at Atlantis and one and Only. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Dubai, I mean, the first one which we are about to open is Atlantis The Royal. This is a new icon and something which everybody will talk about in Dubai. We're so excited about this project. Now, everyone which is coming in Dubai see already this beautiful building from the plane. So this is as iconic it is. So it's part of the Atlantis destination. So we have Atlantis the Palm, we have Aquaventure World, which is sitting in the middle, and then we have this beautiful Atlantis the Royal. We're targeting to opening this icon by end of the year. It will be a bit short of 800 keys from a room side. We will have more than 230 ultimate private residences, really, really beautiful. This resort is about the DNA of Atlantis. It will be full of entertainment, full of activities. If I just can give you, just that you understand the scale of the type of the food and beverage. I mean, we will have Ling Ling from Hakkasan, which will be managing a club on the building. We'll have Lamar by Gaston Arcurio. We'll have the dinner by Heston Blumenthal, which everybody knows extremely well. Yeah. We'll have Leo by Jose Andres. We'll have Ariana's Kitchen by Ariana Bundi, she's extremely talented. We'll have this icon restaurant Milos by Kostas Spiliadis that will be at the beach in absolutely a unique, beautiful setting. And we have the Little Venice Cake, which you know very well, by Mish Turner.
Yeah.
That just gives you a bit of an idea.
Fantastic.
It's amazing, Peter. And just by those two destinations, Atlantis the Palm and Atlantis the Royal, we'll have more than 35 restaurants, and we'll have more than 10 celebrity chef restaurants. Wow. So that will make us as an organization, not only the place with the largest water park of the world, but as well the destination which have the largest number of celebrity chefs within one location.
Fantastic.
And that's an absolutely outstanding site with 2 kilometers of stretched private beach, plus this new aqua venture that we just have opened a few weeks ago, which I have tested all, and I just can tell you, you have to come with me, Peter.
Amazing. Sounds fantastic.
And that's it's gonna to take us to a new level, because as Atlantis the Dubai has helped to define Dubai as an iconic destination, Atlantis the Royal will take us to the next level. It's very, very special. It's very unique. We believe that will send as well a very positive message to Dubai, but to the entire world. And then you were referring to another project. We are opening as well One and Only One&Only, which will be another One and Only, and that's planned to be in Dubai. That's again another iconic project. Now we're really focusing on Atlantis the Royal, but I can tell you that One and Only One&Only will not only be our first urban resort, but it will be having everything that anyone dream out, and it will have so many as well food and beverage opportunity. It will have some activities that will be world class, which will be sitting into this link. This link is this unique architectural element, which is a 210 meters bridge sitting 100 meters above the ground. And that has been just lifted a few months ago. So that was already very, very spectacular. But now that is floating on the air, and then we are about to working on the fit out and everything. I mean, it's just a mind-blowing architectural piece, which will be adding as well another icon in Dubai. So we are now focusing on Atlantis the Royal, but honestly, it's a long baby in the making, but I cannot wait that one to be welcoming guests from all around the world. And it will be very unique because it will be complementary to our flagship One and Only The Palm and One and Only Royal Mirage. It will give something totally different for our loyal guests of One and Only to experience. So it's quite of an exciting journey. And what is important for us is that you might thinking, oh, why One and Only is going to urban destinations and why is doing an urban resort? But Dubai is not an urban city, it is a city resort anyway.
Right.
And that's the way
Yeah.
we will go and developing into cities which are combining this resort feeling versus a business feeling. So it's the perfect destination for us to start this journey. And the interior design is done by Jean-Michel Gatti, top class. I tell you, that will be another great story for One and Only to come.
And is that 2 or 3 years from opening?
We really believe that we will be ready by first quarter 2023. And by luck, we might be a bit earlier than program, but we believe that's something that we can look at.
2023 is going to be a big year for you guys.
Yeah, amazing. Think of it. Atlantis the Royal end of this year, and then 2023 we're going to have One and Only One&Only. So no, we're very busy, and we blessed to having so many iconic projects on the table.
Yeah. So what's the Kerzner philosophy for development going forward? Obviously, the new brand Zero.
So Cyro is definitely top in our radar. We believe we have a huge opportunity to develop that brand fast and to acquire sites in an urban environment and being on that space in an accelerated way. As for One and Only, and Peter, you know that brand so well, we will be continue to be extremely cautious on the development. We are just going to destinations which are unique, which are true to our DNA. And we will have a growth, an organical growth, but a very controlled growth, because we want to make sure that we stay on the top. And this crisis has demonstrating as well that we should make no compromise on quality. And our guest wants the best in anything that they do. And this ultra luxury network clientele that we are working with for One and Only wants the best at all time. And this clientele base is increasing. So we just have to make sure that we continue to give them unique destination, and continuously to focus on the experiences. As for Atlantis, we have two, Atlantis Tanya, which is doing very well. I've been the first one to get out of the pandemic and successfully recover extremely fast. Atlantis Dubai as well. And Atlantis has an enormous future, but developing such huge mega project takes a little bit more time. And we are cautious on the development for Atlantis as well, but very optimistic that we can have an Atlantis in a few more additional Atlantis very soon.
I've heard there's going to be one in Hawaii at some stage in the future.
That's correct. And we are still designing. As you know, each Atlantis should be different, should be unique, should offer something iconic. So we are working currently on Hawaii and still busy on the design.
Yeah. What about Saudi Arabia? You see us, a lot of the hotel brands are now moving into Saudi Arabia, the beginning development there. I know it's a slow process, but obviously tourism to Saudi Arabia is beginning to get a little bit of motivation behind it. Do you see your projects going there at all?
We are interested about Saudi Arabia. I think what they do there, it's really interesting. And of course, there is a lot of excitement currently. And we're exploring. We have nothing fixed yet, but we had a few leads which we are looking at. And the vision and the way that they want to develop Saudi Arabia, and by the same way giving more light to Middle East, it's definitely very, very interesting for us. So if you think of, Peter, from a destination Middle East, what's currently happening now, it's very, very interesting. And Dubai can only benefit by having additional destinations which can being really world-class within the region.
Fantastic. Well, this has been a fascinating discussion. Thanks very much indeed, Philippe, for finding time for me. I know you're just back from a trip for the ribbon cutting in Montenegro, so congratulations on that. I've learned so much today. It's been great to be with you. Great to hear everything happening, and you're sounding so positive of the future, which is good for the industry and it's good for us all. So this is Peter Bates from TravelDine in New York, Philippe Zuber in Dubai. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye, Peter. Thank you so much.